Hey guys, there's a lot going on today, and at this point, I'm just gonna try shooting off the cuff and just sharing what's on my mind. Um, so here goes nothing. Losing my faith, losing my sanity, losing my mind, losing my home. It seems like all I do is lose. I work so hard, I put all my effort into trying to stay above the water, and it never seems to make a difference. Working two jobs, losing sleep, losing hope, losing my dreams, and it all falls apart. No matter what I do, I can't save myself. No matter what I do, I can't save anyone else. Everything I do falls apart, like every touch brings death and destruction in its wake. I try so hard and it never seems to make a difference. Losing my faith, losing my mind, losing my sanity, losing my home. All I do is lose, and everything goes against me. Everything falls apart. Every touch feels like it brings destruction. I don't know who to turn to. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know how to keep my head above the water. I don't know how to survive, no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try. Penelope says hi. Losing my faith, losing my home, losing my dreams. When all I do is lose, where do I turn? Who do I go to? How do I manage to stay alive when all I want to do is die? My mind is begging me to end it all, and my body says, wait, we can survive this. Depression is living in a mind that wants to fade away and die and not face anything else. When your body is begging you to please stay alive, it fights for you. It says, feed me. I need survival. I need energy. I'm trying to keep you alive. When your mind says, please just let me die. Losing my faith, losing my mind, losing my home, losing my sanity. Everything I touch falls apart. Everything is just broken. No matter how hard I try, working two jobs, losing sleep, losing sanity. I try so hard. I try so hard. I try not to depend on anyone. I do my best. God damn it, do I do my best. But it's never enough. The world wants to beat me down and kick me until I can't get up. I'm losing my fight. And I don't just mean the battle that I'm fighting. I'm losing my fight within myself. I'm losing the energy to keep on fighting. I'm losing the energy to keep myself alive. I'm losing my fight. I'm losing my will to survive. I am losing everything that I thought that I had managed to hold on to. I have fought all my life. From the age of 11, when I noticed that I was dealing with depression, from harming myself, from the ages of 13 to 16, when I felt like my life was falling apart and no one was there to help me. I have managed to fight this fight for years upon years by myself. And even though I try to depend on other people, it doesn't matter because I'm still falling apart. Everything is falling apart and there's nowhere to turn, nowhere to go, everything to lose, and look at it, half of it's already gone. What do you do when the people closest to you can't help? What do you do when you can't even help yourself? You fight and you struggle and you strive just to keep yourself alive. When you're selling your blood just to make ends meet, when you're selling your blood just to put meat on a sandwich. When you're losing your home, you're losing your car, you're losing your mind, you're losing your sleep, you don't know how to survive anymore. But you keep yourself alive because there's someone who depends on you. There's someone who depends on you. Even if it's only a cat, You know what? That cat is my child, and sometimes that's the only thing that keeps me alive. The only thing that makes me think this life is worthwhile whenever I come home from work and she's excited to see me. When I come home from work and my cat says that she needs me. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's even acceptable for my cat to be the only thing keeping me alive, but it's the truth. The truth is, when you feel like no one needs you, and when you need someone, there's no one to turn to. My little fur child is the only thing that keeps me alive most days, because when I come home and I don't want to even be alive, my cat says, I need you. And when the only thing keeping you alive is the only thing keeping you alive is the reminder of who would take care of my cat if I died. When your roommates don't need you, when your family doesn't need you, when you don't even need you, when nobody wants you, when you're a burden to everyone around you. No one wants to be around you. You don't even want to be around you. Do you know how hard it is to keep pushing, to keep surviving, to keep living, to keep thriving, when you just don't want to exist? Does anyone know what it feels like to be falling apart, to be broken apart, and to keep a smile on your face because no one can know? Because you know what? If you told them, they would freak out. They would freak out and they would start crying, and you end up comforting someone when you are the broken one. And that is not okay. And it's been my life for all these years. So I hide it away and I keep it to myself and I let it kill me slowly inside, but slowly I'm dying. Slowly I'm dying. I don't know how to survive anymore. I'm doing all that I can do and it's not enough. When you get to the point where you're losing your home and you think you're gonna sleep in your car, but you know what? It's gonna be okay, because nobody else can make it okay except you. When you thrive and you push and you try and it never seems to make a difference. When you're losing your home, you're losing your mind, you're losing your sanity, losing everything. When every touch brings destruction and all you can do is beg for someone, anyone, the gods, a friend, anyone, to help keep you alive because you can barely do it on your own anymore. When you fought so hard for years upon years and you just can't seem to do it anymore. When the only thing that keeps you from hurting yourself is the disappointment that you know will be you. You won't be disappointed in yourself. The only reason you keep from hurting yourself is to keep from disappointing others. And the fact that you put more stock in what others think, and the fact that you're more worried about others, if you're worried about what your friends and family will do without you. You don't even care that it's your life on the line. You don't even care because you just want it all to end. You want it all to die. You wish that there was a time when you could just exist with no one expecting anything from you. When you wish that you didn't have to wake up and go to work and make the money that makes this world go round. When you wish that you could just lay in bed and not hear a sound from anyone. When you wish that you could just be. When your favorite part of the day is when you get to come home and lay in your bed and no one disturbs you and you get to exist, and that's all that's asked of you. You don't want to interact, you don't want to see anyone, you don't want to smile, you don't want to be a human being, you don't want to have to be social, you don't want to have to see anyone, you want to exist, and that is simply it, because that is all that you feel like you can do. And you know what? You make yourself be a human being anyways. You make yourself push through this. You make yourself survive. And if that's not strength, I don't know what is. I tend to think I'm weak. I cry at the drop of a hat and I fall apart easily. Easily. I've been that way my whole life. I've been that way for years. But you know what? When no one else was around to hear, I was the one that put myself back on my feet, back on the ground, back to being a human. Most days I don't feel like a human. Most days I want to lay in bed and pray that no one touches me or sees me for an entire year. I want the sadness and the madness in my mind to just simply stop and let me be. When my mind is berating me for everything I've ever done, for everything I have yet to do, for everything that I did wrong, and I am begging, please make it stop. But I am the one who wakes up at the sound of the alarm. I am the one who works 2 jobs. I am the one who wakes up at the sound of that alarm to start my day, even though I'm begging for it all to go away. I wake up at the sound of that alarm. I get dressed. I go to work. I work a 6-hour shift. I eat my lunch, and then I go to work an 8-hour shift. That's 14 hours of work a day. 14. And then I go home, and I'm expected to put on a face. Even though I've been putting on a face all day, I am expected to put on a face and talk to my roommates, talk to my friends. And you know what? I would be happy to talk to my friends if there wasn't so much on my mind, so much in my soul, so much in me that's tormenting me, when I can barely keep myself conscious, when all I want to do is be unconscious, when all I want to do is sleep and sleep and sleep, because when I am asleep, I cannot think. When I am asleep, I do not feel. When I am asleep, I don't have to face what is going on in my life, what is going wrong in my life. I do not have to face the fact that I am losing my home. I do not have to face the fact that I am losing my car. I do not have to face the fact that I'm losing my mind. Sleep is blissful. Sleep is wonderful. Sleep is the only thing that I beg for every day of my life. It is not that my body is tired, even though I am working non-stop. It is not that my body is tired. It is not that my body is exhausted. And while it is, that is not the only reason that I would love to sleep my life away. My mind is exhausted. My mind is broken. My mind cannot function, and it begs for the blissful release of sleep, because sleep is the one time that my mind doesn't have to go into overdrive. Overthinking every day of my life, everything that I've said, every moment that I've lived, everything that I have done, everything that I have yet to do, everything that I did wrong, it never stops. When people say they are an overthinker, I hope they understand what it's like to be in the mind of this one. I hope they understand what it's like to overthink every action, every thought, every sentence that you've ever uttered. I hope they understand what it's like to stress yourself into a worry when you're barely sure that you're alive. I hope they understand what it's like in the mind of me. My life is falling apart, and I am grateful to you guys for sticking around for that insane rant. And, yeah. So, my car's getting towed today. I can't find anyone to help me move it. I'm getting evicted. I'm working 2 jobs and I have no money put back. I have no means of getting an apartment by myself. I want to put in for a loan, but I need some paperwork to get that done, and I can't seem to get it. So, the loan that could help me get on my feet again is not happening. And I'm probably going to have to move in with a friend until I can get on my feet again. And I hate depending on other people. I really do. I've made it a point to never depend on anyone in my life. You know, when you're a child, you're supposed to run to your parents for everything that goes wrong. But when you're told that there is nothing that can be done, when you're not given the comfort that you ask for, when you go to show them an achievement and you're so excited and you're so proud and you're so happy with what you've accomplished, and you hear, "That's great. I'm proud. But don't forget, you have to keep it up. You have to stand above the crowd. Don't forget that you're poor." The world will most certainly never forget. If you don't continue to push and strive and work your way and climb your way and claw your way to the top, they will rip it out from under you. So while I am proud and while you've done a good job, don't forget that you must never let it stop. For once, I just wanted a statement to end with, "Good job, I'm proud." And for them to celebrate with me. But that was never where the statements ended. The statements ended with reminding me that no matter what I did, it was never going to be enough. That I must always push and always work and always strive, because my life was going to be hard, and damn were they right. It doesn't mean that I didn't want their approval. It doesn't mean that I didn't want their acceptance. For once, I just wanted someone to say I'm proud and not follow it up with anything that diminished the accomplishment that I was so proud of. The accomplishment that I worked so hard for. You know, when you take the ACT, the highest score you can get is a perfect, and it's 36. Most people, when they take the ACT, they score in the teens. It's not great and it's not horrible. First time taking the ACT, I made a 28. 28. Because my mother made me study all summer. She pushed me, and I studied every single day for an entire summer. Because I knew that if I wanted to go to college, that ACT score was going to be the death of me or the life of me. When I made a 28, I was ecstatic. I was thrilled. It was a beautiful score, and I was proud of what I had done. When my mother said, "Great job, honey. You can take it again. Just remember, if you get up to 30 points, you could get a full scholarship. And remember, we don't have the money to pay for school. If you want to go, you got to find a way." A beautiful score diminished by the fact that I am poor, diminished by the fact that I was born into a life I did not choose, diminished by the fact that I could never put myself above the rest, no matter how hard I worked, no matter how hard I tried, no matter the good grades I got or the work I put in, it was never enough. I am $36,000 in debt because I wanted to try to make something of my life. $36,000 in debt that I may never pay back because I don't know how to get ahead anymore. Like I said, I'm losing my home. I'm working 2 jobs. I don't have anywhere to turn, anywhere to go. And the thought of going back to school is impossible because I can't afford to miss work. I can't afford to miss out on the labor that makes me money, that makes the money that makes the world go round, because I can't afford to feed myself if I'm not working. I can't afford to pay my bills if I'm not working. I can't afford to pay for a house, for a roof over my head if I'm not working. And if I'm going to school, then I can't work a full-time job. While I know people do it, I don't know if I'm capable, because I'm working 2 jobs and I'm already losing my mind. I don't know if I can bring myself back to a place of being okay. I feel like no matter what I do, I'm never going to be okay. I take the medication and I talk to my friends and I vent and I write and I try and I try and I try, and I'm still falling apart. No matter what I do, I can't make myself be normal. I can't make myself be okay, because anxiety and depression, and they beat me and they beat me and they beat me and they beat my mind into the ground, just like they have done for all the years that they've been around. Sometimes I wonder if I'm ever going to be okay. Sometimes I wonder if I'm ever going to make it to the end of the day. I survive on caffeine and nicotine, and I try to just simply make it through a day. Half the time, I don't even know what day it is. I don't even know what time it is. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go from one moment to the next. I survive on coffee and cigarettes, trying to keep my body awake enough to make it through the 2 jobs, to make it through the work days, to make it through until I can collapse into my bed at the end of the night and scroll my phone endlessly, because my mind won't stop, my mind won't sleep. I just scroll and scroll and scroll my phone because I'm just trying to get my mind to shut up long enough so I can slip into the blissfulness that is sleep. Because when I'm asleep, I don't think. When I'm asleep, I don't feel. When I'm asleep, it doesn't hurt. When I'm asleep, it isn't real. When I'm asleep, it's like I'm drifting into that non-existence that I beg for every day of my life. I had a dream once. I had a dream that I was going to be a therapist. A therapist that would help other people, because I knew what it was like to need help and not have anyone there. I wanted to be the person that I had needed when I was younger, hell, the person I continue to need now. I went to school, I completed my bachelor's degree, and then, it all fell apart. My last semester of college, my boyfriend left me. I had to move out. I lost my home, my boyfriend, my best friend, my future, the person I'd spent 3 years with, the person I thought I was going to marry, the person I thought I would have a future and a family with. But you know what? That's okay. I can deal without love. I can deal without a significant other. But I lost my home. I lost my rock, my solid foundation, the person I went to for everything. I survived that semester, living with friends who fought all the time, making me lose my mind, wanting to disappear inside a corner, but there's only so much you can do when you live in the corner of the living room. That's right, I didn't even have a room there, and I don't blame them for that. They didn't have room for me, but they took me in anyways, and I slept in the corner of the living room in a small twin bed tucked away in a corner. I spent my days working on school. I spent my days writing essays, writing papers, taking tests, studying. I spent my days as much out of that house as I could because I can't deal with people arguing. You know, I feel what everyone else feels. I'm an empath. If you feel it, I feel it too. And if you're arguing and you're screaming, I am losing my mind listening to you. My mind is reeling. I spent my days away as much as I could. But you know what? When I graduated, I thought, I can do this. I went looking for a job, looking for a place that would hire me, looking for a place that would give me an opportunity in the field of my choice, looking for anything that would give me an opportunity to advance myself. I had one opportunity, but it needed startup money. And I didn't have it. I couldn't get a loan. I couldn't ask my family because they didn't have it. And of course, I'm not going to ask the people that took me in because they don't seem exactly thrilled that I'm here. So who do I ask? No one. I turned down my opportunity for the lack of resources. I take the most readily available job. Working in a shit restaurant. And when my roommates heard of my decision, they were angry with me. I didn't take the job opportunity they wanted. I didn't get out of their house immediately. And while I was originally told that I was supposed to be doing good and they didn't want to charge me rent because they wanted me to focus on my studies, they wanted me to focus on finding a good job, they wanted me to focus on being okay for myself. When I didn't take the job they wanted their money back. I lived off of my blood money, the blood that I sold to simply survive. I was living on dollar meals and rice and water. I was losing weight. I was depressed. I couldn't move myself from my bed. The only reason I went to work was because I had no other option. I saved up $1,000 within a month. I knew it was enough to get me out. And then they wanted $600 for back rent. Back rent. The rent that they originally told me they weren't charging me because they wanted me to focus on school. And when I told them they had two options, I either move out and find a place to live, or I give you your money. If I give you your money, I will most likely be homeless. They didn't care. They wanted the money. When I had two more friends, luckily, who were willing enough to take me in, then one of them becomes angry and kicks me out again. I lost my home 3 times in the span of 6 months. 6 months. 6 months, and I lost my home 3 times. I was this close to living in a storage unit, trying to figure out how to keep my cat satisfied if I kept her in there with me. My bed would fit. There would be a place to sleep. My other belongings, what little there were, would fit. There was electricity in the unit. I could charge my phone at night. I could read. I would survive. And then I moved here with my best friend, and I thought everything was going to be okay. And now we're getting evicted, and I'm losing my home again. And this time I am trying my damnedest. I am trying my damnedest to make myself survive, and I can't. No matter what I do, it is not enough. No matter how hard I try, my life seems to kick me down and beat me while I'm down. It kicks me and bruises me and causes internal bleeding because I feel like I'm falling apart. I feel like my insides are ripped out from inside me. My heart is breaking. Everything aches. I am exhausted every single day of my life. I do not want to wake up. I do not want to exist. Can someone please just make it stop? I know I'll survive. I've done it before, I'll do it again, but god damn it. For once, I just wish one of my decisions, just one, would turn out in my favor. Every time I think I'm doing something good for myself, it turns around and it blows up in my face. I just want to make a decision that can work for me. Every time I make a decision that I think will be good, it turns around and it blows up in my face. I don't know how to make good decisions, apparently. I don't know how to make decisions that benefit my life, no matter how hard I try. And as an overthinker, I think every situation through. I think of every possibility, everything that could go wrong, and I make the choice that I think is best, and it still turns out the worst.